provide at the graduate level in Appalachian Studies need to be delivered more effectively and more efficiently. And what I mean by that is primarily that they reach more students. Now, Appalachian Studies underwent, the minor underwent a program review last year, and has now gone into program review again this year. One of the recommendations in that review at the minor level was to articulate the coursework more clearly with the professions. And what I mean by that is I think there's tremendous value in providing that kind of coursework for people who are going to be teachers, people who are going to be social workers, people who are going to be nurses, people who are going to be counseling psychologists in this region. I do not see that post-baccalaureate certificate program as the most efficient and effective way to do that. There are courses obviously in the English graduate program that belong there, that should stay there. You know, I'm glad to work with the department on that. But I think we need to develop a new set of graduate courses particularly. There's a little tweaking that has to go in the undergraduate program that can really, you know, the 30 course sections offered in that post-baccalaureate certificate program have had an average enrollment of 4.7. If you take out independent studies, if you take out theses, all of which are well and good, the regular classroom courses, so to speak, have an average graduate enrollment of 7.9. I think we can do a lot better than that. That's the main, Dean Grady is about to wrestle the microphone away from me, so that's the main focus of that program.
Yes, sir. One concern that we have as universities that the last forum has repeatedly said over and over that we are going to mirror and also emulate what other universities in the state are doing with the budget cuts and the whole budget crisis. My question is, how come Radford, to my knowledge, is the only university that is actually cutting out entire departments, whereas every other university is not taking this mode of action to meet the requirements of the budget?
If you go to our website that we have now posted there, we have listed numerous universities that are going through the same program review process we are and eliminating programs, eliminating departments, merging departments. They're there. We posted, I don't know how many of the links we have out there. We have a link to a link. So I encourage you to go out and look at that. Not all the programs are being handled in the same way we are. Some of them are being done just simply at the college level rather than the university level. We choose to review all our programs in the context of all programs in the university rather than within just a single college. But if you go, and we have one for Virginia Tech, they're listed there too. We can find the others, but we're not the only one. And starting about January, there were numerous universities around. North Carolina System is there, University of Tennessee, we have those up there. So you can see that what we're doing here is similar to, identical to, not as much as many of the university systems or individual universities.
I would just like to add to that the programs are not necessarily being eliminated. I hear that word used a lot. And if you look carefully at what has been restructured, that some of these programs are living in new homes. For example, we have the Recreation, Parks, and Tourism has joined the College of Education and Human Development, which makes us extremely happy because the individuals that are teaching in that program bring all kinds of strengths. So I think if you look at some of the programs that are in the sciences, for example, dance and theater are going to become one school. They will still be able to graduate dance majors and theater majors. So dig down a little bit deeper and look exactly at what has happened and ask yourself the question, are we doing away with, are we eliminating these programs?
That's Dean Shoemaker.
Why are we applying 150% of SHEV requirements? Why isn't 100% good enough, especially in light of profoundly reduced adjunct and other staff?
It's interesting that you asked that question. I just looked at the criteria from North Carolina that they have directed all of their universities to do. That document is out on our website and it was issued in February 2009. Every program that was on our program review list would have been on that list if we had used the criteria from North Carolina. And the bottom line is, because everybody understands there's a certain point at which programs are productive and there's a certain point at which they are not. We don't decide what programs students enroll in. Students decide that, and then we only pull their data out of the registrar's database based upon student selection. So that is the answer. The same criteria has been applied in North Carolina as it is here. So.
Let me add another thing to that, why 150%. When Chev sets a threshold level, it's the minimum threshold. And over the years, I came here in 1995 or 1994, and within the first week I was contacted by then the Vice President of Academic Affairs and told that Chev had notified him that we had 3 graduate programs that had not met the threshold, and I had about 2 weeks to notify the programs they were being cut. What we're trying to do now is to set a threshold internally so we can identify programs that are beginning to get at the margin before they're identified as being below the margin by somebody else. That gives us an opportunity to look at the programs, determine whether they can be strengthened. If so, how can they be strengthened? If not, then we move to a different decision. But we don't want to have the State Council of Higher Education being the primary determinant of which programs stay and which ones go. So we set our threshold slightly higher. Now, when you say 150%, that's 150% of a very small number generally. So it's not a huge increase.
Considering that the review board met on Friday, why did you wait till today to have an open forum to discuss this after the decisions have already been made and there's nothing that we can do?
I'll answer that for the committee. There have been no decisions made. Our job is to make recommendations to the provost and to forward those recommendations to the faculty and senate. The decisions get made at this university by the Board of Visitors, not by this committee. Our job is to make recommendations. We have very strong recommendations given the size of the votes one way or the other. And how quickly we could pull this together. We wanted to make sure that we actually had the minutes of the meeting completed. We finished our meeting at somewhere around 5 o'clock on Friday. There were pages and pages and pages of minutes of a 3-hour meeting, notes that were converted to minutes that had to be circulated among all the members of this committee so that we could all agree that this is what actually transpired to get the votes right. This is, I would say, almost the speed of light quickness when it comes to an organization this size and decisions this complicated.
Let me add another little part to that. We're following internal governance processes by having the program review committee look at this first, then it goes to the faculty senate, then it'll come to me. I've sent many emails out to community members that have sent me their concerns, their wishes, their recommendations of what I should do, and I've sent emails back to most of them saying that when the process is complete, when I've gotten the recommendations from the program review committee, from the faculty senate, and their review and comment, I will add the community members' comments to that as well, and then I'll use that to make an informed decision about what I'll recommend to the president of the Board of Visitors.
My question is about the committee itself. Radford University has had in place for a while program review, and the program review system that Radford has instituted has required these departments and other departments to carefully, over a period of months, examine themselves, examine their statistics, reflect on it among themselves as faculty, and come up with major documents and major explanations about what their programs are doing, the viability and meaning of their programs. This was true of my Department of Philosophy and Religious Studies a couple of years ago. It seemed like a meaningful process. It was true of peace studies that we went through last semester. It involved program review for peace studies, involved the entire peace studies faculty. We met together, we discussed the criteria, we discussed our program. We were educationally serious thinking about it, and we came out with a 50-page document